Shady, one of my favorite conversations you and I have ever had about sports we actually had before today's show. Talking about is Jalen Hurts getting a pass. Reason being, he had a phenomenal game. But there was one scarlet letter, if you will. The game was tied. The game was 14-7. Eagles are winning. Jalen Hurts has the ball 3rd and 1. QB sneak. I believe right tackle Emmanuel Acho ball starts. Now it goes to 3rd and 6. Well, on 3rd and 6, Jalen Hurts has his only true mistake of the game, but it was a pivotal mistake, not just a fumble that the Chiefs not only recovered, but they recovered and they took into the other end zone. Now, Shady, it's 14-14. Keep in mind, I cannot omit this information. The next series, Jalen Hurts, 12 plays, 75 yards, of which he has 69 of these 75 yards, marches down the field and scores a touchdown. That's context of what you're witnessing there and what we will not show you but happened shortly thereafter. Shady, is Jalen Hurts getting a pass for that pivotal mistake that did allow the Chiefs 7?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. And I'm not even being biased. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he played a phenomenal game. Like, I got to be honest and say this. That's probably the best game I've seen him play all year, right? And it's not all about the stats, but just how dominant he was. I've seen plenty of times where the Chiefs come out and they're rolling, right? They make adjustments, they're rolling, and the other team can't keep up. That was not Jalen Hurts. Oh, you scoring? Oh, I'm scoring. Oh, you passing? I'm passing. You running? I'm running. He was on everything. Without him, I don't know where the team would be. The defense didn't really hold up their end of the stick late in the game, right? Jalen Hurts did. So I hate turnovers. I mean, if you ask me, hey, if I have 200 yards and I fumble, I'm going to be pissed off. It's probably one of the greatest performances. But if I'm continuously delivering, you got to make up for it. I think he did that. I think he made up that fumble with the way he played the whole game. And then the two-point conversion, that was big. They really had him stopped. So to see that, man, he played a phenomenal game.
I hope somebody does suggest to Jalen Hurts that he's getting a pass. It reminds me, remember we talked to Howie Roseman about it, the Eagles GM, before the game, when the Eagles fans were like, Howie, we forgive you. And he was like, for what? You're welcome for winning you a championship. So I dare somebody to be like, you know what, Jalen, I'm going to give you a pass, man. Like, you screwed up, but it's okay. Be like, you're welcome for being the only reason this wasn't a Chiefs rout. Who pulled their weight on the Eagles more than Jalen Hurts, or arguably at all? Again, this was a top defense getting historical comparisons. They did nothing in this game. No sacks, 160 rushing yards allowed, 38 points allowed, no takeaways. Special teams didn't come through. Kadarius Toney punt return changes the dynamic of this game completely. And what held it all together? This isn't the best Jalen Hurts has played this year. This is the best he's ever played, at least that I've seen. And you know me in SEC football. I've been watching this guy's career since he was in college. This was an amazing performance. This is one of the best performances I've ever seen in a Super Bowl. He happened to fumble. Things happen in football games.
But what's that then say? Because I remember before the show, we did these topics. Does Patrick Mahomes need to play a perfect game? Well, yeah, he absolutely does. Jalen Hurts, he can probably play pretty good, and they'll win. That was kind of the consensus. We said Hurts didn't.
Nobody expected this toothless of a performance from the Eagles.
But what does it say that you believe? I don't think Hurts played the best game of his career, but it wasn't far off. I don't think it's an outlandish statement.
Considering, okay.
The magnitude of the game? Understood. Fair.
Sure, he played better against the Titans in Week 10. Who cares? The Titans suck. This is the Super Bowl. And he went out, he was dotting it up. They went 11 of 18 on 3rd down. He picked up 6 of 9 3rd down attempts with his arm. Like, we write off what he does with his legs all the time. He was converting 3rd down after 3rd down as a passer. He played really well. Yeah. He's the only reason the Eagles were in this game.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to push back on you that hard, but like considering that this was the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Magnitude, absolutely. I didn't know it was a context of magnitude. I would have said the Steelers, I would have said the Titans outside of context. But context of magnitude, absolutely, I won't dispute that. Jory, where do you stand on Jalen Hurts getting a pass?
It's almost like you got a full night's sleep, Dave.
I know, right?
You got the special coffee. Yeah, I mean, those great statistical games don't matter. Nobody cares about that. Like when we're talking, what's the best statistical game that Patrick Mahomes ever had, 6 touchdown passes or whatever. Those are great, when you're talking about their careers. But what do you do in the games that matter? Tom Brady has thrown and turned the ball over, thrown pick sixes in Super Bowls. The difference is Jalen didn't win the game. Had the Eagles won the game, we truly would not even be mentioning the fact that this fumble happened. That's the difference. Wins and losses, and that's how it goes. That's just the way this all works. But he was responsible for every point that was on the board for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs' defense is responsible for 7 points, and the Chiefs' special teams was essentially responsible for the other 7.
Yeah.
So all the talk and deserved praise, there were 2 moments that 2 other phases of the game came up big for the Chiefs, and it translated into points. Obviously, Patrick
14.
Mahomes
Yeah.
and the Chiefs' offense still had to score, but they were on the 5-yard line thanks to that unbelievable run back and this fumble. So Jalen Hurts is allowed a mistake. You're not expected to play a perfect game. If you're playing a perfect game, then it should be because a whole side of the ball didn't show up, which would be the Eagles' defense. Yeah. So, yes, he's getting a pass, but he deserves a pass because he's the only reason they were in that game. He's responsible for every single point that was on that board. He played an unbelievable game outside of that mistake and still put his team in a position to be tied at the end of the game.
I guess my thought process is, what is the magnitude of the mistake you're allowed to make? Let's talk special teams. Eagles special teams, they made both their field goals. Chiefs special teams did not. Eagles special teams had a very good punt return, but the Eagles special teams led up a very big punt return. So what's the magnitude of the mistake that you are allowed to make, given the fact that outside of that one bad punt return for the Eagles special teams, they played a very good game. They outplayed the Chiefs special teams unit. So, Shady, where do you stand? Somebody who's played in the game or been in the game before, played in the NFL for 12 years. Where do you stand? How do you think Jalen Hurts is feeling? How do you, as an Eagles fan, a soon-to-be retired jersey holder, where do you stand on all that?
I guess it's like if it was me and I fumbled in a big game like this, right? And I come back and I give you 200-plus yards. I give you some touchdowns, and I'm carrying the team. It's like I'm responsible for that fumble, but, I'm making up for it, right? Does that make sense? Or in basketball, well, they didn't win the game. But I'm saying if a guy, he missed the game-winning free throw or something like that, but then goes to overtime, and he's carrying the team all the way to the finish line, then we don't win. It's hard to really judge Jalen Hurts on just that play. Now, I do think that it was 3 guys there. There's a pull read option. You kept it, fall down. But now it happens. I'm big on how he responded. He responded
like crazy.
Come on,
like crazy.
You can't respond no other way if you want to be perfect. That was perfect response.
12 plays, 75 yards, of which Jalen Hurts had 69 of them to go.
And nobody. And I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think that Jalen Hurts would play like that. I'm just gonna be honest.
No.
In the first Super Bowl game,
considering what we've seen in the playoffs before that. He played one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen.
Right.
And I've been watching him for a while at this point. He just didn't happen to win the game. It happens.
It does happen. Unfortunately for Eagles fans, I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't know if it happened was good enough.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.